See friends, yesterday the point we started was with separation of powers. That's right. Sir, what is the difference between polity and politics? Ankit, politics beta, polity is the study, okay, of the arrangement. Polity in Hindi will mean Raj Vyavastha. What is the arrangement? So, polity means the arrangement of power, okay. Good or bad, whatever it may be, it is the arrangement of power. And when we say politics, first of all, politics is not a bad thing. When we say he is doing politics, we generally take it in negative connotation. No. Politics rather is the system of participating in the process of power. Okay. Now, when we try to do it through a negative manner, then it is never desired and desirable. Okay, we don't expect it that it should be done in this way. So, first of all, politics is not a negative word, it is a very positive term. I say everyone should be involved in politics, and politics will not mean that you are telling blatant lies. Politics will not mean that. Politics simply mean that you participate in the political process. Okay, so politics means the act of participating in the political process or the action of political process, when political process is in action. Okay, now Harjat Kaur has asked me what is the difference between polity and political science. Political science beta will go into the history of concepts, that how the political arrangement should be carried out. Like I go to Socrates, then I travel to Plato, Aristotle. Okay, Plato in his Republic suggested that there shall be philosopher kings, dormitories shall be there. So a way he attempted to suggest that in this way the political system will be better and people will not be carrying out their functions only with the sole objective of their personal goals. You must have heard of, in current politics also, people say that they have family system of politics. Means that democratic process is missing. Okay? In political parties, in NCRT, you will also see that what are the problems with political parties in India. Then we say internal democracy is missing, because most of the political parties have a system that father was an important leader or created the party, then his son, his daughter and all others will continue coming in the political party. So, political science is the study of principles, concepts, how they evolved over a period of time from the ancient times till the current times, how they evolved, okay. So, how the idea of liberty evolved, how the idea of law evolved, how the idea of legislation and legislature evolved, wo beta political science mein hoga. That will be the subject that will be studying various philosophers, thinkers who must have given their views. Polity is the outcome. Polity is the outcome. भाई आपने क्या राजव्यवस्था लगा रखी है? What arrangement of power you have provided for it? Somebody may say like Taliban. Taliban is saying that the arrangement is based on tradition. Whatever Islamic structures are telling us, we are following that and we have created a our polity according to that. ठीक है? Fine? So, modern nations will say no, we actually follow the principles of rule of law, separation of powers, written constitution, blah blah blah, independent judiciary, and we have created a system based on that. Fine? China will say that we actually have provided a system of communism. We consider that in this way of polity, the power will be better organized for the sake of the state, for the sake of the people. That is what they may be saying. Is it? Are you clear with it? So, polity, politics and political science, these three are different things. Okay? These three are different things. Arjot is clear. Someone else also asked me, Asmi, beta, you are clear, polity is the arrangement and politics is the activity, act. that who all are involved. So act of carrying out the political process is politics. Whether it is carried out in a fair manner or an unfair manner, that is different thing. तो पॉलिटिक्स बच्चे खराब बात नहीं है. ही इज डूइंग पॉलिटिक्स इन द इंस्टीट्यूशन. तो वी जनरली कंसिडर इट इन last day, no? Today? Okay. We generally consider it as a negative term. Politics is not a negative term. Okay? Political science तो बेटा subject हो गया ना बच्चे. Political science is the subject. Nikita, you joined late, my child. Anyway, still. Challa Varaprasad Reddy, I will tell you again. Political science is the discipline where in a structured manner we study the philosophy related to political arrangement in the societies. In political science, we attempt to study that how the political institutions, how the political principles evolved over a period of time, okay, what criticism they have faced, and how the improvements have been made to them. ये political science हुआ कि प्लेटो ने साहब क्या कहा था. So Plato was really enthusiastic, too much enthusiastic in his statements in Republic, or whether they were practical also. So when we will say Aristotle, then we will come out that he himself found lacunae in the ideas provided by Plato. Okay, so you keep on understanding. Okay, Nicomachean ethics, he talked about it in this manner, then he suggested it. So principles you study, that is political science. How the idea of law came, what will be the law. So the word law, the definitions of it, who shall be making it, who shall be educating on it, ये सब बेटा political science की subject है. This is the part of political science where you will be studying it in detail. Okay. We are at present, my children, studying polity. Montesquieu का नाम ले रहा हूं, तो Montesquieu will be studied in political science also. But here we are only referring to Baron de Montesquieu. हम यहाँ उसका बाकी एनालिसिस नहीं करेंगे. As a judge what he talked about, as a historian what he talked about, as a political analyst what he talked about. In political science we may be doing even that. Okay? यहाँ हम सिर्फ ये जानते हैं that this gentleman, Baron de Montesquieu, gave the idea of separation of powers. ठीक है, किसमें दिया? In his work. किताब का क्या नाम था जो इसने काम किया? स्पिरिट ऑफ लॉज. Des Esprit de Lois. Need not write in French. नाम तो लेकिन बेटा वही लिखना पड़ेगा, नाम की अंग्रेजी नहीं कर सकता हूं मैं. But otherwise his work we can talk about in that spirit of laws. ठीक है बच्चे. So time period is 18th century, 17th century and 18th century. That will be his time period. Anyway, so prior to him also some French thinkers talked about the idea that there should be separation of powers. ये फर्क आ जाएगा पॉलिटिकल साइंस में, हम इसको भी स्टडी करने लग जाएंगे. एंड देन वी विल सी अदर थिंग्स. यहां पर हम पॉलिटी में सिर्फ प्रिंसिपल ले लेते हैं कि ओके, माई राज व्यवस्था इज बेस्ड ऑन दीज प्रिंसिपल्स. ओके, रूल ऑफ लॉ की बात करेंगे तो बेटा वी शुड डेफिनेटली टॉक ऑफ एवी डाइसी. सो ओनली द नेम, बाय चांस दे कम, एज दिस ईयर्स पेपर वाज, that they can even ask you some simple and common things also, which everyone is expected to know. Right? So, shall we proceed from where we left? अगले प्रिंसिपल पे चलें, separation of powers. Any problems to anyone? No, great. थोड़ा सा लेवल बढ़ाएं क्लास का. Shall we go ahead, if you allow me? though it is the second class only. Okay, fine. Separation of powers, when we talk about, then we say that there are three wings. ठीक है भाई? Three wings we all know. One is legislature, one is executive, and the other is judiciary. Beta, examiner will always be interested in finding out that are we really going through this celebrated principle in a religious manner about the idea of separation of powers, or are there certain things that we need to go ahead with. Kindly pay attention to the class, children. You can talk to your family members later. Okay, anyway, fine. See, so now let us see it between these two, what can be the issues of tension. If I talk of legislature and executive, what can be the issues of tension or controversies. तो पहले बेटा you must have heard of a term office of prophet. पढ़ा है? All of you must have gone through it. See, if I am taking it to really a higher level that you are not able to comprehend, tell me immediately, I will stop it and later I will come to it. If you can follow it, fantastic, then it is. Office of prophet, झगड़े वाली बात है. What's the problem? Because office of prophet child is basically a disqualification. Disqualification, इसकी कहानी सुना देता हूं आपको, so that you will understand it. See child, in United States of America, in 1820s, there was an American president termed as Jackson, okay, President Jackson. Jackson convinced the members of the assembly to allow him, to give him powers to appoint even the members of assembly on executive positions. सोच कर देखिए that there are some people who are here are given the positions in the executive. ठीक है? They are given the positions in the executive. Correct? Now, do you think these members then really will be finding faults with the functions of executive? No, because they will be part and parcel of the same machinery. When you are the judge to your own cause, will you ever find problems with your own recipe? Never. कभी घर में कुछ कुक किया है? Okay, we all do it. You must have tried it. तो बाकी कहते हैं इसमें ये कमी, आप कहते हैं नहीं ठीक तो है, ऐसा तो कुछ खराब नहीं है, थोड़ा सा ऐड ये कर लेते बढ़िया हो जाता है. That is what we say. Exactly, children. The same thing will be here. They will not be finding faults. So, what will happen? Then what will happen? If you will not be, if you will be the part of this also, so the bills will be passed which will be going for okay, Varaprasad Reddy. So, the bills will be going for what? The bills will be going for providing more powers. Everyone need more powers. So, again you will be making the system despotic. Again you will be making the system despotic. Okay? So, in that system what will happen beta? In that system, if you will make it despotic, then what will happen? The entire thing that you have separated will be a waste. So, a system was created when Jackson started using it, okay, like anything to appoint all important members of legislature on higher positions in the executive. Then other members started crying foul. They said it is wrong. Separation of powers will not be actually able to be carried out. Then they came out with a disqualification that any MP means member of parliament for us, for them MC, member of Congress. Any member of Congress, if is seen discharging any functions of the executive, then he will be disqualified, as he will be considered holding office of profit. Correct? So that was the idea. So office of profit, if you will see in the constitution also, will be seen as a disqualification under article 102. It will be seen as a disqualification, where it is clearly written that no member of parliament shall be holding any office of profit, or else he will cease to be a member of parliament. So now you got what is office of profit. So office of profit as a term is associated with execution. Okay? Execution. Later on I will tell you in detail whether the executive director of a private company will be considered holding office of profit. Let's see how much you have understood it. I have increased the level with your approval only. Shashank has said yes. Okay, others. Some are saying no, some are saying yes. The yes is the correct answer. Yes, it is. It does not mean public or private. Any office in which policy execution is involved, in which rule application is involved. Make it further more easier for you to understand. Rule formulators shall not be rule applicators. This is the principle. है ना बेटा? So office of profit simply provides for an understanding that rule formulators shall not be rule applicators. They shall not be applying the rule. Any doubts in understanding it? हमारे यहाँ पर जो झगड़े हैं, whatever problems we are having, no, yes, office of profit is mentioned. Article 102, you will find it. Why not it will be there? How will you be disqualifying then otherwise? Okay, Divya beta? And it is not mentioned at one place, it is mentioned at other places also. When you will talk of qualifications of the president, there also it is there. Okay, Divya beta. Fine. So, till here clear one thing. Another issue between them, the issue of conflict is ordinance. Ordinance making powers of the executive. Remember, whatever the issues of controversy will be there, they will be asked in your mains also. Pre as well as mains, these are the important things. So we will be studying them again. I am not completing it. I am just telling you so that you start understanding what is important and you never forget it. Okay? So the issues are, one is office of profit, one is ordinance. Correct? When we have a parliamentary model of executive, so definitely we do not have 100% separation of powers, because our ministers who are part and parcel of the executive are actually drawn from the legislature only. Okay? But that is why a cap was provided through an amendment that not more than 15% of the strength of Lok Sabha. Anyway, I think I am going too ahead. Let me keep it till here only, that what separation of power means. Okay? But anyway, later on, you all will be under an obligation to know it. Between them, what are the issues? Issues are of accountability of judiciary or PIL. That will be an issue where you will use the word judicial activism, judicial overreach, active judiciary. So what it is it good, is it bad, all those things will be talked about. Understanding it? So now we know who gave this principle, Baron de Montesquieu or only Montesquieu, whatever you are able to recall, gave this principle, and this principle is important as it provides an essential idea that these powers should be established in separate organs, in separate people. And if you will say, it is also going with the principle of natural justice. Why? Because it provides with the understanding that you cannot be the judge to your own cause. Okay? So it also follows the principle of natural justice, that you will not be the judge to your own cause. You will not be making the rules which you want to apply. Somebody else will make. So the chances will always be high that a thorough scrutiny without vested interest will be possible. Simran, Office of Profit Beta simply provides an understanding that those who make the laws should not be applying the laws. Those who make the laws should not be applying the laws. Prachi, I have not told you anything about ordinance. I only said it is an issue. Anyway, when you have asked me, I will tell you something. Ordinance is the law-making power of the executive. Otherwise, whose power is to make the laws? Of the legislature. But in special circumstances, this executive can promulgate ordinances, that is, can make laws. And ordinances have equivalent power of the laws. Any doubts? Shall we go to point number 2? Okay. So now, point number 2 is rule of law. Second celebrated principle is rule of law. थोड़ा सा लिख लेते हैं, so let's write something about it and then we will move ahead. And one suggestion to Mr. Var Prasad Reddy, kindly learn Hindi, the language which 100 crore people know. If you are not knowing, then you will be at fault. Like, I am trying to learn Mandarin, a language which so many people are knowing. We should also be aware of it. Okay? So, English is fine, Mandarin, Hindi. These 3 languages, if you are aware, of course, respect your own language also. That is great. Culture should always be respected. Anyway, back to rule of law. Let's proceed. So, please write rule of law. And now write under it, rule of law prescribes for an idea. Rule of law prescribes for an idea that no one will be provided with any exceptions, that no one will be provided with any exceptions in front of law, and all will be treated equally. Full stop. Rule of law can be best comprehended under the idea of absence of privileges. Under the idea of absence of privileges. Absence of privileges. In front of the law, thus ensuring a genuine equality before law, thus ensuring a genuine equality before law to everyone irrespective of the persons social, economic, administrative or political status. Full stop. Para. This principle was provided by A.V. Dicey. He is an English, an English philosopher. This principle was provided by A.V. Dicey. With the idea to overcome the deficiencies of French system, of droit administrative for writing trative, for pronunciation va, administrative, administrative, for pronunciation. Droit means law, rules, droit means rules. So rules of administration or law of administrators is droit administrative. ठीक है बेटा? In English it will be termed as administrative law. Fine, proceed. In droit administrative or in the French system, please write, in the French system, there was a separate set of rules. In the French system, please write, there were separate set of rules. To guide the conduct of administrators. There were separate set of rules to guide the conduct of administrators. And in case of disputes, Council d'État. Council d'État. ठीक है, Council of the State. English, in English it will be Council of the State. Was the chief adjudicating body. Was the chief adjudicating body. Was the chief adjudicating body. Full stop. Council d'État. Oh God. Many trucks will pass like this, huh? Okay. Anyway, Council d'État was headed by the executive. Nikita, it is not educating, adjudicating. I am writing the word. Child adjudication. ADJUDICATING. Adjudicating. The one resolving disputes. Okay, beta? Good. Thanks to Priyanshi and Sayyid Ahitram. Thanks. Tanu also helped me. Okay, beta? So, now you will see what Dicey will find. Dicey observed, after full stop please write, Dicey observed that in droid administrative, Dicey observed that in droid administrative, there was little scope. There was little scope for a citizen getting justice. As being the judge to your own cause, as being the judge to your own cause, you will rarely be finding faults in your judgments. You will rarely be finding faults in your judgments. Yes, Nikita, tell me what you want to ask. Last line. Last line was that when you yourself are the adjudicator, you will rarely, R-A-R-E-L-Y, rarely be finding faults with your own judgments. Ekta is asking, a friend, help her. Okay, after Dicey observed, it was droid administrative, D-R-O-I-T, the same word which we have written earlier. Droid administrative. Friend system. Priyanshi. Last line. Kindly type the last line. It's looking children are having their breakfast का time नहीं है और brunch है ना, so that's why they are not able to follow when I am speaking. Kindly type the entire sentence so that our friends who have missed it, they know it. Yesterday also children, I told you we are doing or dealing with the situation of that I am making oral communication. It is fast, repetitions are possible, but you have to be very attentive because I am making some sounds. And because they are standardized dictionary sounds, so you can actually decipher meanings and then write them. So very attentive. Whenever you are in any seminar, any conference, you need to be highly attentive, otherwise you will miss one sentence, one word you miss, entire sentence is gone. Chaliye, once again, thanks Muskan and all others who have written it. Shraddhanand, thank you very much. Shreya, now you are having the entire sentence, children, those who have missed it. Oh God, Tushar Sharma missed. What is after absence of privileges? Simran is saying also me, sir. What she has said earlier, please help me. Excuse me. Simran made a statement earlier. No. Simran, what do you want to know? No, it's okay. Go down, go down, go down. Huh? Okay. Council d'etat was headed by the French executive, that is president. It was established by, more history you want to know, it was established by Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, Napoleon Bonaparte established it. So, Council de Rouy, Rouy means the king. Council of the king was abolished and in its place Council of the state was established. And Napoleon Bonaparte started heading it, and he took powers from the assembly even to make rules and also to adjudicate rules related to his officers. He said this flexibility is important. Okay? It is a favorite area of UPSC to ask things. Rule of law. Okay, and joint administrative child, that is tribunal administration, somewhere violates this very basic principle of rule of law or principle of natural justice even. Manya Arora, sir, one question. After covering the basics, will we start with Lakshmikant? Ma'am, I am not teaching you Lakshmikant. I am teaching you the polity syllabus. So at present I am giving you basics. I will be going with the syllabus or the constitution. Only two things. Droit means law. Droit means rules. Disha, now you got it? Droit administrative means law of administration. Okay, be comfortable, study it. It is you are studying the law of government by which government is governed. You are studying that. Okay, beta? Here there cannot be any gup. Gossip is not possible. So that is why I also expect from you, because we are legal people. So we talk exactly what is as per the provision. But this will give you such a strength, child. If you will follow my language, if you will model my language, if you will simulate, okay, you will start understanding how to write. You are officers. I consider you officers, going to be officers. So do not worry. Learn the system of writing. We do not write anything without a reason. We don't waste words. In law, it is criminal to waste concepts and words because we need to be always correct as per the law. Questions of law we deal with. In governance, child, we will deal with something else also. In governance, we will deal कि भाई this is the law, whether it is applied properly or not, how we can apply it properly. That is governance. So at present you are studying constitutional law, the system by which polity has been established to some extent, but in an easier manner, not like a class of law. We are studying it in an easier manner, but as it is for the officers of the country, top positions, so definitely UPSC expects that you have extraordinary clarity. Okay? Very, very close options will be given, and there the one which is most comprehensive should be ticked by you. Okay, beta? Chaliye. So now you have started understanding. Lakshmikant and gave Act of Indian Constitution. अरे gave act नहीं, bare act. अरे भाई, what are you typing? Bare, gave act नहीं, bare act. Bare act means only the constitution without any unnecessary commentaries, everything. Where provisions, article 1, article 2, article 3 are given along with their amendments. Please do not switch off your cameras. Others also, this has been the sufficient time. Now you should be able to switch on your cameras. Sufficient time is passed. Nashta vashta ho gaya hai aapka. You all have done it. Okay? And the one who was in too much, okay, homely dress, what we say, uniform of comfort, come out of that. Be in a formal environment. I am telling you as your elder and as your teacher, be in a formal environment, you will always learn more. People go to Harvard paying 2 crore fees for 2 years. Why? To be in that environment. So no worries, technology is helping us. But please try to be in highly formal environment. Anyway, let's proceed. But without any fear. Don't be afraid. Ask me freely. Okay, beta? Ekta, no issues. It was typing mistake. No worries. Let's proceed further. So, child, are we through with separation of powers? Good. Are we through with rule of law? Great. Can you tell me something that is in news nowadays related to governor, that what exceptions Indian Constitution has allowed related to the rule of law? What are the exceptions? Yes, absolutely right. Avneet has typed it. Immunity, absolutely correct. That is what we are talking of. Immunity related to governor and president. Okay? So what is the immunity we have provided? Safina? The immunity, child, is provided as that till the time they are in office, okay, that is the one who is holding the office of governor, that person, or the one who is holding the office of president, that person, criminal proceedings will not be carried out against them till the time they are in office. However, civil proceedings are allowed, but with a time period of after a notice of 2 months. Okay? After a period of 2 months, civil proceedings are allowed. Okay, beta? So, rule of law we just studied. Whether there is any exception in the Indian Constitution to the idea of rule of law? Yes, under Article 361 it is there. under Article 14 is provided equality before law, and under Article 361 we have provided special exception to the idea of equality before law. But whether it really violates the idea of equality before law? No. Only the position has been given immunity, not the person. Once the person will be out of his or her position, you can carry out criminal proceedings against that person only till the time that person is on the chair. Immunity is only till that time. Once the person is not on the chair, all cases, all proceedings are allowed, even criminal proceedings. So, Indian Constitution is not in true sense violating the idea of rule of law. Okay? For mains purpose I have told you, and even for prima facie, yes, it is an exception, but only to the office, not to the person. So, till the time the person is in office, covered, okay, protected. As soon as the person will go out of the office, not protected. And as you cannot appropriate your office, it is a democratic institution. So, you are bound to one day leave that office, and that day proceedings will start. Right, sir? And these are removable. People can be removed from such offices. Safina Azad Sheikh is asking me, sir, are you going to dictate this later, my child? At present, not to dictate. Or if you want, yes, okay, put a stop, likhiye under rule of law. When she has asked me, I will. This I would have otherwise dictated under Article 14. But you have asked me, beta, here, I will dictate something here also. Please write. Put a star and note, N-O-T-E, note, and then write. It is important to note that under the Indian Constitution, two offices, TWO, two offices have been provided with certain immunity in respect of criminal cases or criminal proceedings, and for a certain period, even in the case of civil proceedings. Full stop. Under Article 361, the office of President and the office of Governor, are seen provided with the immunity from criminal proceedings. and for 2 months, from civil proceedings. From civil proceedings, full stop. It is important to note that this protection will remain only till the time the person is in office. And once he or she moves out of office, all types of proceedings are possible. All types of proceedings are possible against that person. Are possible against that person. ठीक है साहब, कहानी बन गई यहां तक, स्टोरी इज क्लियर एंड वी हैव एन आइडिया ऑल्सो अबाउट इट. एक और नोट बना लीजिए, वन मोर नोट आई विल गिव यू so that you will understand it completely, the entire idea of rule of law. NOT note, this is second note. In context of rule of law, the adjudication, ADJUDICATION, the adjudication by tribunals, tribunal, TRIBUNALS, by tribunals. वर्ड सुना है ना, सेंट्रल एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ट्रिब्यूनल, ऑल दीज ट्रिब्यूनल्स है ना, एनजीटी, नेशनल ग्रीन ट्रिब्यूनल. So, by tribunals is also considered as violation of principle of natural justice. And a deviation from rule of law, as in courts, judgments are made, as in courts, judgments are made by impartial judges, impartial, IMPARTIAL, impartial judges, while in tribunals, some administrative officials, are seen making decisions. फुल स्टॉप. सो चलिए अब एक बात और सीखते हैं. Sir, is this also applicable national? हाँ बेटा, any tribunal my child, any tribunal, it is not a court, है ना बेटा? So now the difference in India is that courts are available as the appellate authority, जहां आप अपील कर सकते हैं. But in France the problem is courts are not available as the appellate arrangement. There you maximum can go to the executive council. In India, you go to tribunal, no worries. If you are not satisfied with the judgment of the tribunal, you can always move to the courts of law. Okay, depending, high court you can move or supreme court you can move, but you can move. So, sir, are there appellate tribunals? Sir, appellate tribunals का बेटा मतलब ही ये होता है, my child, where you can appeal. But after tribunals also, there should be something where you can appeal. Like after high court, you have supreme court. So what after tribunals? Tribunals are specialist courts. Okay. Final tribunal, sub-administrative officials are seen making decisions. Manya Arora has asked something. Kindly help her. So, sir, you are clear now that tribunals also are exception to the idea of true thesis of rule of law. So, if I ask you whether A.V. Dicey must have encouraged the system of administrative law tribunals, whether he must have? No, definitely no. Okay, that is why beta, judgments by tribunals or administrative tribunals are considered as necessary evil, because evil part, risk is always there, and that is why how we have eliminated that risk in India and in USA, we have kept courts of law as again the tier above them, where you can make appeal if you are not satisfied with the judgment of the tribunal. ठीक है बेटा? Appellate jurisdiction, Shashank has asked. Appellate jurisdiction simply means who will be authorized to hear or take the appeals. In certain cases, it may be Supreme Court if a tribunal is considered or given the status equivalent to a high court. Like in 1991-92, a big question was there, which the Madras High Court answered in context of Central Administrative Tribunal. Okay, beta? Under the Administrative Tribunals Act of 1984-85, the CAT was considered to be equivalent to the high courts. So the appeals were to be heard at Supreme Court level, but then Madras High Court said how a tribunal can be equivalent to a high court. High court is a higher court, so tribunal can be above the sessions court. They accepted, but definitely they said that you cannot give them a equivalent status of a high court, and that is why in 1991, then in 1993, then again in 1997, Madras High Court heard appeals from CAT, the bench of Madras bench of CAT. They heard appeals against that. ठीक है बेटा? So appellate jurisdiction simply means under whose jurisdiction it will be. That is appellate jurisdiction. Adhikar Kshetra. Okay, Shashank, jurisdiction simply means Adhikar Kshetra. Sometimes SC also change. Curative petitions are different things, Shashank. Do not get confused and confuse others. Curative अलग चीज है. Let me proceed in law, then I will tell you all these things. Curative is different thing. Curative petition होती है ना बेटा, that is different thing. We will understand them later. अभी basics समझते जाते हैं, so that All the things we start understanding naturally. Okay? So now if UPSC would have asked you that which of the following violates the idea of rule of law, and 1, 2, 3 would have been given, and one would have been draw it administrative, आप tick कर लेते, yes it violates, and then they would have given tribunals, आप चक्कर में पड़ जाते. You must have started thinking whether it will or not. Now you know it, yes it is also. Or now I ask you which of the following violates the principle of natural justice, almost the same question. But principle of natural justice will have 3 components. We will come to them later. ठीक है, अब third principle पे चलते हैं. These 2 are clear to everyone. You know the names also if by chance they are asked in pre. For one is A.V. Dicey and for one is Baron de Montesquieu. सबसे celebrated principles हैं बेटा. These are the most celebrated principles of the constitutionalism. समझ लीजिए ये 2 pillars हैं. These are the pillars, foundation pillars on which entire minaret, the minar is standing. ऐसे समझ लीजिए. Sir, difference between Puja Pradeep, we will be coming to it, my child, when we will be seeing Article 21. Rule of law and procedure established by law or rule established by law. कुछ वहां भी पढ़ेंगे ना पूजा. We will have to study something there also. At present, I am only teaching you the basics, that these are the foundation values. Okay? अगली लेते हैं. What is the third principle? Third is presence of independent judiciary. Presence of independent judiciary. So Yash has asked me, his tribunals are also the exception of principle of natural justice. 100% they are exceptions. They violate the principle of natural justice. Okay? सोच कर देखिए, इनकम टैक्स appellate tribunal, income tax commissioner is a member to it, and you are hearing the appeal against whom? Against one of the commissioners only. So that is why, to improve, we have started having some judicial members also in the tribunals now. But still, the majority beta will be of expert officials only. पढ़ेंगे बाद में, we will study them, don't worry. So anyway, अब हम तीसरा देख रहे हैं, presence of independent judiciary. Write something under it. Independent judiciary is considered as one of the most important arrangement to act as the custodian, to the Constitution and its values, to act as the custodian to the Constitution and its values. To the Constitution and its values. Full stop. Impartial judges can only establish cases of omissions and commissions. In the process of lawmaking, as well as in the process of law application. Full stop. Legislature may formulate a law. Legislature may make a law. But if it is inappropriate, and inconsistent, but if it is inappropriate and inconsistent with the provisions and values of the Constitution, then only independent judiciary can declare them unconstitutional and void. Unconstitutional and void. Full stop. Similarly, acts of the executive, if are guided by over enthusiasm, and are in violation of established principles of law, then such actions can also be declared as void, VOID, as void by impartial judges. Mayank Singh, it is guided by over enthusiasm. Like in Delhi, a SUV driver was charged, okay, with section 105, and when High Court said, why are you over enthusiastic, then police said, okay, we are dropping that charges. Horrible policing and horrible understanding of police system in Delhi, and that too in capital, okay, that too in capital. So if any building will collapse anywhere, they will go and say truck was passing from here and that is why the building collapsed, so truck driver is at fault. What a foolish act it was. Okay, anyway, so High Court anyway intervened, वही तो हम पढ़ रहे हैं, that is what we are studying. And you students can always give examples of such things. UPSC is always appreciative of such examples which they see that you have given from real life analysis and not tutored by some guidebooks. So if you have taken this example to understand what is over enthusiasm, you can also say that a court in Delhi asked Delhi police not to be over enthusiastic when for over flooding or flooding of a basement they tried to charge a SUV driver. ठीक है? VOID, void by impartial judges. G. So now you are through with independent judiciary. Any doubts in understanding it? So in Indian case, beta, Supreme Court of India has actually been gaining its strength as the custodian of the constitution with the coming up of doctrine of basic structure. After that, it has become very, very powerful to protect and guard the liberty of citizens of India. Okay, when Chief Justice of India recently made a statement that the judges in the lesser courts are trying to play safe by not granting bail, and for that reason flooding the higher courts with bail applications, he wanted to give a message. He was actually telling that even the lower courts the courts of magistrates should act as guardians of liberty of citizens. Okay? Don't you think on the previous day when a judge denied the bail to the SUV driver, whether he really applied his mind? No, the judge rather should have asked the police on that point of time only that how can you press these charges? But judges also try to play safe. He must have thought that if the police is asking, let me send him to jail, and later on when the framing of charges will take place, automatically the person will come out. But what will happen to the liberty for 1, 2, 3, how many days? Maybe it was one day, but one day the person's liberty was snatched from him, first of all by a foolish act of police, and then also for lack of application of authority in mind by the lower court. This is what our Honorable Chief Justice of India tried to actually indicate. तो मेंस का क्वेश्चन बनेगा, चलिए बाद में पढ़ेंगे इसको दोबारा से, आगे बढ़ते हैं. लेट्स प्रोसीड फर्दर. Under which section? 105 okay of Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, that is culpable homicide not amounting to murder, where due to negligence of someone has been killed. Very serious section. It is lifer is possible in it. Lifer means, you understand, where life imprisonment is also possible. So this is a serious section. Generally in it, you will not be getting the bail immediately. Rather you will have to prove your merit to be granted the bail. आसान नहीं होता है बेटा, है ना? It is difficult. Anyway, हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. So 3 हो गई बातें सर. Now 4th, let's understand. It was a case of 100%. It was a case of misfeasance. Anand, absolutely right you have asked. It was a case of misfeasance for sure. Mel to nahi tha, it was not malified, 100%. It was not so that they demanded money from the SUV driver and then when he denied them money, then they implicated him. No, it was not so. It was, that's why I used the word over enthusiasm, and this was the word used by the court also. Okay? So misfeasance ka hi hai beta. You have used the word correctly. So Anand, even misfeasance as a word can appear in your next pre. This is how the UPSC makes the paper. They want you to read the newspapers, they want you to be alert about the things happening around, and as you are the community of UPSC aspirants, something happened with UPSC aspirants, then how the law took its case and everything, you should be understanding it. So in terms of constitutional provisions, in terms of certain laws and other things, they will ask you, right? Independent judiciary is considered as one of the most important element in act of custodian to the constitutional value. Adarsh, you want to ask something, beta? Acha, you have helped me rather. Sibani Lenka has asked and you have helped her. Very good. Thank you. Now let's move to the fourth one. Please write the fourth principle. The fourth celebrated principle is writtenness of the constitution. Writtenness of the constitution. That the constitution as far as possible shall be written. Okay, beta? Please write under it. Ekta, I will repeat. I have said writtenness of the constitution. Likhit Samvidhan. Writtenness of the constitution. That is, the constitution shall be written document. Okay, beta? Let's write under it now. How many of you have seen Namaste London? Rishu. Okay. Avanit. Anyone else? Many have watched that movie. Great. So, now do you think when Akshay Kumar was telling something on that yacht to that Englishman, so I think the first statement he should have made, instead of telling about the army and all, that see, look who is talking. You don't have a written constitution and you are trying to talk with the people who have a written constitution. Ankit, Namaste London. So can you recall that scene from the movie where he was trying to impress the English person that see, we are actually very great people. Writtenness of the constitution makes your nation a great nation. Writtenness of the constitution makes your legal system much better and stronger than the English system. And that we will see now. English people have ruled the world. That is why they came out with the idea of unwritten constitution. If they would not have ruled the world, nobody would have accepted the idea of that a constitution can be unwritten also. If I put in order the Supreme Court of England, Supreme Court of India and Supreme Court of USA, which will be the weakest in them and why? Supreme Court of UK, correct, England. Why, child? So quickly you told me. Ajay, Rishu, Avanit, Samya, Rishank. Unwritten, absolutely right. Unwritten hoga. And when it is unwritten, then how will you make the executive or the legislature accountable? बना ही नहीं सकते आप. You cannot make them accountable. In India, it is written. And India, even if something is not written in the constitution, with the doctrine of basic structure, Supreme Court can add something to the constitution now. That is why doctrine of basic structure, out of 10 times, 7 times will be asked either in mains or pre. आना ही आना है. अब आप समझ गए क्यों? Because it is actually promoting the most celebrated idea, without which judiciary will become very weak, without which custodian of the constitution will be helpless. So with this, custodian of the constitution can say, Mera Bharat Mahan, and can tell the executive, also the legislators, that don't do this, I will strike it off if you will be going against the core values of the constitution. Got it children? ठीक है बेटा, चलिए अब लिख डालते हैं इसी बात को. Let's write it. Writtenness of the constitution. Please write. Having a written constitution is considered as a highly significant Sakshi is saying, sir, please repeat. I have just started saying having a written constitution is considered as a highly significant pillar of constitutionalism. Full stop. In the presence of a written constitution, judiciary can make executive as well as legislature accountable in more objective terms, as the word, W-O-R-D word, as the word, comma, letter, L-E-T-T-E-R, letter, and spirit of the constitution will guide the judgments with more authority. And to avoid conflicts with the judiciary, the other two organs will have to accept the judgments provided by the court. Fine children. So, this is one thing you have written. Hai na? Now, two questions I was seeing which I have seen you have typed. One is you have given that US court is most powerful, and that is a correct statement. US, then India, then UK. That was typed correctly there. See why in US the Supreme Court is very, very powerful. The reason is, being a truly independent judiciary, if they strike off a law, then the Congress cannot reintroduce it. ठीक है? In India, if even the court has come out with a judgment, you can make an amendment and can re-establish it. Though you will generally see that now this trend is not there. Okay, earlier this Tom and Jerry used to happen when Indira Gandhi government was there. Okay, you came out with an amendment, okay, and then 24th amendment, again this case, then another amendment, again this case, 39, then 42nd, then 44th. Yes, Rishuraj, you are also right. Shah Banu case, hai na beta? Rajiv Gandhi time, 1986. In that also it was there. So, but generally you will see that nowadays, as more and more people are becoming aware, okay, so governments do not try to go against the judgments of courts. They do not immediately bring a bill in the legislature to overcome or overpower the judgments given by the apex court. पहले ये बहुत चलता था in 1970s, in 1980s. That's why that is the most interesting story which I will be talking when we will be talking of fundamental rights. We will be going to the era of Indira ji and we will be seeing what was happening. Forget emergency and all. आप उससे बहुत बड़ा मजाक देखने वाले हैं. You will be studying what Tom and Jerry game was going on between two dal mein paat. So, court saying something, legislature bringing a law, again court is saying something, again a law, again court, again a law. Constitutional amendments were done as it is my home place, my home factory. This is how they were done, and that is why they are still asked, because you officers are expected to protect the constitutional values. Shashank has asked me, sir, what about 10% EWS which violate the 50% cap? My child, you have not studied it. 50% cap is for caste-based reservations. EWS, my child, is not caste-based. So, the 10% EWS quota is not in violation of the Indira Sahani judgment where they provided 50% cap. That cap was for caste-based reservations. Okay, Shashank? हाँ बेटा, है ना? So, difference है. This is what Shashank, are you from law? You have law background? Okay, but you have good information about things. But it is not in violation. So, this is the clarity we need. That will make you an officer. This is the difference of CGL exam, state exam and UPSC exam. UPSC needs very high degree of clarity. Otherwise, options will be very close. In CGL, options will be very easy. You know the thing, you can mark. Speed is required there. Okay? At state PCS, 2 options will be closed. UPSC, all 4 options will be closed. So, more clarity, and that's right. Problem solving by an IAS, IPS, IRS will involve clarity. Subordinates आप ही के पास तो आएंगे, your subordinates will be coming to you that sir what to do. So then that is why the exam is designed in that manner. Exam को समझिए and you will understand what is the difficulty. It's all the exams are easy provided you understand what they are testing. CGL, testing awareness. State PCS, taking a higher level, finding out between 2 rights and between 2 wrongs, can you solve the problem? And UPSC, when you come to the civil services, 4 rights and 4 wrongs, identify. All may be wrong, all may be right. Do know. And they can be closed also. So here clarity operates. If you know that sir I know rule of law, कुछ भी पूछो मुझसे, I will be able to tell you. I know principle of natural justice, you ask me, go ahead. This is what we expect from you, right friends? चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. CA has that is Avneet Chaturvedi. Avneet, you have written CA Avneet Chaturvedi. Are you a chartered accountant? That's why you are writing it CA. You are trying to impress us. Anyway, it's good. You have written there. I don't mind it. But are you trying to impress someone? चलिए छोड़ते हैं इस बात को. Let's proceed further. It's okay. It wasn't. Come on. It's a joke. थोड़ा humor भी जरूरी है. I teach that much of law and the constitution. Actually, in our class, jokes are not possible. So try to find out something so that you come out here only. Fine. Anyway, beta, UK, my child, why it has not gone for a written constitution? If you ask me any specific reason, beta, they say that they believe in conventions. है ना beta? They say that they believe in conventions. They say that we have been able to follow almost all the celebrated principles, let it be of rule of law, let it be of democracy, even without having a written constitution. भ्रम में जी रहे हैं वो. That is what I said. That's why I said Namaste London. If I would have written dialogues for Akshay Kumar, I would have stripped all the clothes of that Englishman by stating all such points which would have shown them that you are the most useless nation on the earth. Even African nations who have come out now with a constitution are better than you because they are more reliable and stable. Okay? So having a written constitution is very important. But now we accept it, yes, there can be some unwritten things also. Nuanath Monica has written for me, EWS comes under open category, which is economically weaker section, which is under 50% cap category, 50% reservation for all the categories, reservation 50% economically weaker section comes under the open category, which is 50%. ये क्या लिखा है नुआनाथ? Puzzle दिया है बेटा तुमने मुझे. Is it a puzzle? नुनावत मोनिका क्या लिखा है बेटा? EWS come under open category, which is economically weaker section, which is under 50% of cap category, which is for 50% reservation for all categories of reservation. 50% economically weaker section comes under the open category, which is 50%. क्या है भाई ये? Playing with me? Okay, you are also joking with me as I actually had some humor with one of your friends. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Let's proceed. Let's proceed further. So, 50-50 sir. चलिए ब्रिटानिया 50-50 और भी हो सकते हैं. भाई पढ़ लो, पांचवा प्रिंसिपल लिख लो. Please give the fifth point. So, written constitution we have written. Note लगाना है तो लिख सकते हो that it is important to have written, but there are examples, more than one example, who say that they are examples of unwritten constitution. Okay, but if you ask me as a constitutional expert, I do not appreciate anything unwritten. जब एक rent agreement भी आप written form में लेते हो तो how a thing like constitution can be unwritten, that there are convention, there are the previous laws, there are, अरे 2 दिन में बदल दोगे यार. It's very unsafe place to be in city of London or in UK. Any day they can bring any sort of law. कोई नहीं रोक सकता. That's why the best place if someone is willing to migrate is either India or USA. At least judiciary is very powerful. If you can reach the courts of law, it is almost a guarantee. In India we say delays are there, but courts are very powerful here. And the same is with USA. Very powerful courts. So you will at least get justice. It's not that overnight you can change laws. England में तो जो चाहे कर लीजिए आप. They can make laws overnight, whatever they want. Overnight they can reject the rights of some section of people. कोई कुछ नहीं कर पाएगा. Petition of rights कब की है? 1681. Previous version petition of rights 1651. काहे के अधिकार थे उस समय? What type of rights were there at that time? Now we are having an elaborated thesis of rights of people. Okay, anyway, चलिए हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. Let's proceed. Write the fifth point. Principle of democracy. Fifth point is a democratic arrangement. Now Chinese will be watching us. That alright, we are also unconstitutional government. Yes, they are. Very recently, you must have seen a statement by the Chinese premier that we are a unique type of democracy. What a bloody joke that person was making. China and democracy, मजाक करते हो भाई? Are you joking? And that too in the daylight? रात में चुपचाप कमरे में कर लेते, that was okay. But how can you say China is also a unique form of democracy? Absurd. Okay, so China is also not following the principle of constitutionalism. सुनने दीजिए Chinese को. Let's proceed. Please write. The head of the state and those in real decision making powers should be chosen as far as possible through a democratic process. The head of the state and those who are in real decision making powers should be chosen through a democratic process as far as possible. Full stop. The process can be direct. The process can be direct or indirect. But ideally, it should be the process can be direct or indirect, but ideally it should be the expression of a democratic choice. लगना चाहिए लोगों ने चुना है. It should be an expression of a democratic choice where the tenure, tenure or term, where the tenure is for a limited period of time and also some arrangement for representation of people exists. Representation of people exists. Full stop. Especially after full stop, especially the legislators. Members of legislature are termed as legislators. दो अलग अलग वर्ड हैं. Legislators, legislature के सदस्य, members of a legislature. Especially legislators should be coming elected and for a specific term only as the representatives of people as the representatives of people, they shall be putting the concerns, concerns concerns of people in the legislative debates. Okay, full stop. The term democracy Shivani Singh has asked last word. What was the last word? पिछले सेंटेंस का लास्ट वर्ड टाइप करना है जरा. प्लीज टाइप द लास्ट वर्ड ऑफ द प्रीवियस सेंटेंस. Legislative debates. Thank you, Prachi. Thanks, Muskan and all others. Let's proceed. Now, what was the sentence I started with? Because new sentence should not come, you must have already written something. The term democracy in itself provides, for a system where people are the source of authority for the government, and they only form the government, for the sake of people. ठीक है, डेमोक्रेसी में एक वर्ड पढ़ा होगा ना, यू मस्ट हैव of the people, by the people, for the people. You all must have heard it. Democracy, okay, that is government of the people. So children, for any position, if I ask you at least one qualification is common, what must be that? For any important position under the system, tell me one qualification that will be common to all, apart from age or blah 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 anything. What will be that? Citizen of India. Very good, Priyanka. Shabash. Indian citizen. Because then only you will say that it is very good. Uttejana. Everyone has issue. Bilkul theek hai beta. Shivani. That's correct. So now you are alert. Now you are able to understand. Okay. So democracy is getting connected. Yes, sir. If everywhere we are writing that it should be citizen of India, so sir, it is a proof that we are having and we are promoting a democratic system. MLA के लिए भी होगा क्या बेटा? For being a MLA, you need to be a citizen of India essentially. Yes. For being a MP, yes. छोड़ो president को. For that will be. Even for all of them. Shivani has written OFC. What it means? Beta, at my age, I am not that good at type of abbreviations. Okay, yes, of course. Okay, OFC is yes, of course. Thank you. आगे से ध्यान रखूंगा बेटा. At our age, beta, Believe, and in my work also, we believe in complete words. Exam में मत लिख देना. Those who will be examiners will be of my age or even elder to me. उनको OFC कुछ पता नहीं चलेगा. It's okay, Shivani, that's great. So, sir, we are clear with the idea of democracy also, and you also know the meaning now of, by, for. ठीक है, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. दोबारा आएंगे इस पे. विल कम टू इट व्हेन आई विल बी टीचिंग यू सिटीजनशिप. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पे कल मैं आना चाहता हूं, सो आई वांट टू फिनिश इट टुडे. फिफ्थ प्रिंसिपल, यहां इंग्लैंड फिर से मुंह की खाएगा. वेयर इंग्लैंड वंस अगेन विल एक्चुअली हैव टू हाइड इट्स फेस इज रिपब्लिक. Okay, the principle of having a republic state, a state being a republic. Can UK write Republic of UK? If yes, fine. They are saying no. Let's involve Anjana Agnihotri. Mic on करिए अपना, बोलिए. Why UK cannot say that it is Republic of UK? Anand has already given the answer. Oh, great. That's right. चलिए, don't switch on your mic now. मैं ही लिखा देता हूँ. Please write. Republic, that is the head of the state shall be elected. तो दो प्रिंसिपल पे मार खाएंगे. They say we are a democracy, but they do not have an elected head of state. That's why the word republic. Anyway, the term republic means that the head of the state should be elected. Comma, should be for a fixed term. And should be removable. Should be removable, जिसे remove कर सके, मान्य. Removable by the people, in bracket representatives of people. ठीक है बेटा. For this reason, my child, even the article of impeachment, okay, Article 61 of the Indian Constitution is an important provision. पढ़ेंगे. And removal of others also, removal of judges, removal of flag, blah 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 blah, all of them we will be studying, and UPSC can ask. ये भी बेटा democratic arrangement को strengthen करती है. These things also strengthen the arrangement of a democracy. मुस्कान is asking, sir इतने सारे articles learn हो जाएंगे. Trust me, मुस्कान. Give a smile to yourself and be happy. My duty, don't worry. Okay? Yes, you have given the smile. Great. 100% हो जाएंगे. Don't worry. Trust yourself, my child. If as a child, when you were too young, you were able to learn the counting from 1 to 100, उससे आसान काम होगा. It will be easier than that. Okay, at that time you were just cramming without anything. Now you have the understanding, so it will be much easier, because Q's होंगे ना बेटा, CUES. You will have, okay, this must be in this section, this must be in this article. At that time, 1, 2, 3, if you ask me to remember what comes after 20, it is only by cramming. कौन सा सिद्धांत पढ़ा रहे थे मैं? At that time they were not giving any principle. Now I will use summation principle, I will use many other principles, synergy principles and other principles to give an idea that after 19 only 20 can come, but after 19 21 also can come. Okay, हम गलती से बोल देते ना 1928 टीचर थप्पड़ मारती थी, गलत मारती थी भाई. 28 definitely comes after 19. Immediately थोड़ी पूछा था टीचर ने that what is immediately after 19. So I think you got it. चलिए डरिए मत. It is easy now to study all these things. Anyway, मैं आपको what I was teaching, what principle. मुस्कान तुम मुस्कुराकर बेटा मुझे भुला देती हो इधर उधर. Allow me to complete the sentence. Which point I was giving? Republic तो हो गया. Should be removable by the people, है ना? So that's right. This is also done. This is also true. So now let's try to see what are the core principles. एक और लिख लीजिए, थोड़ा टेक्निकल है, वर्ड में लिख देता हूं. Entrenchment of authority. अंग्रेज नाराज हो जाएंगे अदरवाइज इफ आई विल नॉट टीच यू दिस. Entrenchment of authority. ENTRENCHMENT. एंट्रेंचमेंट. ट्रेंच का मतलब जानते हो बेटा? ट्रेंच माने खाई. ओके, यस शिवानी. ट्रेंच मीन्स खाई. सो इट मीन्स द वन एंट्रेंचमेंट. I should पृथक्करण. I should take the authority from you that you can change the scope of your authority and functions. That is entrenchment. Yes, Avnit, it is the next principle. बच्चों नंबरों का भी शायद कुछ कंफ्यूजन चल रहा है. वन ऑफ द अर्लियर स्टूडेंट हैज आल्सो आस्क्ड मी इट इज फिफ्थ और सिक्स्थ. वो नेचुरली नेक्स्ट होगा बेटा. मैं तो मजाक कर रहा था. 1 2 3 इतना तो आपको आता ही है. आई नो दैट. I was just joking. I will explain again. Entrenchment of authority. Okay. So I am telling you, हमेशा याद रहेगा. Trench, TRENCH, trench. Trench means खाई, a space that is there. Okay. When two boundaries are separated by a trench between them, that is, so we have entrenched the main building from the other. अब यहां समझते हैं entrenchment. Entrenchment means that I have made this power of yours, this is your scope of functions. ठीक है बेटा? Scope of authority or functions. You are not allowed. किस चीज के लिए allowed नहीं हो आप? You are not allowed to increase it like this. This is wrong. You cannot. ठीक है बेटा? So what is entrenchment of authority? Entrenchment of authority, please write it. Again I will explain. उसके बाद लिख लीजिए पहले. According to this principle, the organs of the state, according to the principles, the organs oblique officials of the state or organs of the state shall not be allowed to change the scope of their functions, or their authority by their own self. Full stop. It is an important check. CHECK, check. It is an important check that prevents organs from empire building tendencies. and from entering into competition with each other, and from entering into competition with each other. Full stop. It prevents any organ, it prevents any organ from going despotic. Full stop. Fine, children. Now you know Nikita Jain has written DS, this despotic, okay, from going despotic. So now you know constitutionalism, you know what is polity, you know what are the good features of a polity, okay. You can write one more principle, thesis of rights, thesis of rights, R-I-G-H-T-S, rights. Full stop. There shall be a dedicated system, Article 32 की importance, there shall be a dedicated system for securing of rights and for the protection of rights. For securing of rights and for the protection of rights of the people. Well, stop. These are, children, some of the essential things that we study in constitutionalism in India. If I would have been teaching you in France or USA, I would have added one more thing as an idea of right, okay, but not in India. So, not here. You will not add it in notes. I am just telling you what I would have added. I would have added the thesis of not having the soldiers in your homes, okay. So, there is also a principle in France where we say that soldiers will not be allowed to be kept in homes under the order of the states. Earlier it was that soldiers were to be kept, it was the duty of every household member that some soldiers were given the shelter, or rather they were housed in your houses, in your homes. So that was very dangerous. It was in USA also and in France also. So they have gone against it. Anyway, so this is something. Tomorrow we will start something from, we will see the doctrine of basic structure, we will see some of the doctrines, and then we will start Indian Constitution. सर ये समझ नहीं आया, अवनीत चतुर्वेदी, कौन सा वाला समझ नहीं आया भाई? So छोड़ दो सोल्जर्स को, लीव इट, है ही नहीं इंडिया का. I unfortunately just traveled to US and France in my ideas, let me be back. भूल जाओ. Housing of soldiers बोलते हैं उसे. So earlier that was there, now it is not. It is for them. If you will ask fundamental rights, वहां बता दूंगा आपको, don't worry. तो वहां हाउसिंग जरूरी थी बेटा, यहां नहीं है. It is not here in India. Anyway, so tomorrow we start with, so can we practice one UPSC question in each class like yesterday? Ritika, Gautam, पढ़ लिया है, मैं तो बना देता हूँ, लिखो भाई, go ahead. She has asked me, and Ritika Gattani will be the first one to answer it. Others will also answer it, but Ritika will be the first one. Let's go ahead. Let's have the question. Consider the following statements. Statement number 1. In India, President and Governor have been provided immunity from the thesis of equality before law. And thus the office bearers will not carry any deficiencies in this regard full stop. Second statement. Indian Constitution violates the principle of rule of law Well, stop. And now the options are A, only one is correct, B, only two is correct, C, both are correct, D, both are false. If you ask me, it is slightly difficult. सोच समझ के आंसर दीजिए. इजी कैटेगरी में नहीं है, यूपीएससी लेवल का एग्जाम क्वेश्चन है, as they will be asking you at UPSC level. Requires full clarity in your mind to answer it. Kamya, Yahya, Bala. First of all, our Gattani madam, where is she? What is your answer? Ritika has given D. Subhranshu A. Preeti Yadav A. Nikita, both false. Both false meta means D, है ना? Prachi Yadav has given B. Okay. A, B. C किसी ने नहीं दिया. Anyway, house divide. Let's go for house divide. House divide, you understand? A's and A's, लेकिन यहाँ पे चार होते हैं. Who all are with A? I have seen them. Who all are with B? Anyone with C, type it. If anyone is with C, C means both are true. No one. Who all are with D? Fine. Okay. D is the right answer. Good. Very good. Very well answered the question. देखो भाई, they definitely carry deficiencies. Office bearers do not carry any deficiency, they carry. But उस टाइम तक के लिए हेलमेट है, बाद में नहीं है. It will not be afterwards. The protection is only till the time. And in civil cases, even it is not there. In civil matters, after 2 months, it will start. So correct answer, Ritika, is your answer was correct. Very good. It was D only, beta. and you answered it rightly. Both are wrong. Yes, you can celebrate, Ritika. Very good. You have given reward to yourself, है ना? Very nice. Fine, friends. So tomorrow we'll continue. So yesterday, अपना नाम बताया, and I thought आप 12th movie वाले सर हैं. No, I am not that. Okay, my name is Dr. Manoj Kumar Sharma. Name only is the same. Fine. Bye-bye.